Missouri Treasurer is on the phone line. Vivek Malik is here. You know, people say your name a lot of different ways too.
That's right. I was about to say that, Fawn. Good morning, but I was about to say the same thing. I was listening to it. That's funny because I have been called by all different names, like Vivek, Vivek, and by real pronunciations, Vivek and Malik. So it has been funny. I've been called all different pronunciations.
Yeah, so I call you wrong all the time. I say Vivek Malik, and that's wrong. And so here we are, and you're like,
Hey, at least you know who I am, so that doesn't matter. But yeah, it's Vivek like in cake.
yeah, Vivek. Vivek.
Yes. Yes.
I have to pretend I'm from Transylvania, and I will get it right. Okay. All right. So we wanted to talk to you this morning because you pushed pretty hard with Vanguard files to get them to stop doing something we don't want happening, right?
That's right. Yes.
What'd you do?
And this is not something an isolated event. Has been a thing since I took office in January of 23. I have been against investments in China. I pushed for divest from China from all pension funds, redivested funds from mergers, which were in China. Then I led the effort to start a legislative bill to divest from China for all pension funds from Missouri, which did not succeed the first year, but this year we were successful in getting that through. So we hope that all these pension funds across Missouri would be divesting from China. And to help that, we also have what we call the Most 529, the College Savings Program. And for that, we have a fund manager, Vanguard, and we had about $4.5 billion invested through them. And they did not offer till now an option where you can, as a portfolio for emerging markets without China. So we actually have been in conversations with them for a long time, for over 3 months, when we requested them, hey, would you offer an option, a portfolio where you would have an option for emerging markets without China? And they listened, and they knew where the wind is blowing. They knew what they themselves have shown that risk. And I just want to say that my goal has been throughout this effort to show that Missouri can lead the way in advocating for fiduciary responsibility, national security, and financial prudence centered on our families' needs. And that's why I work with Vanguard and Census, which is our plan manager, to deliver a new emerging market ex-China ETF, the fund that came out, because Missouri pushed for it.
Yeah.
And this is the first time any public elected official has worked with a big private firm like Vanguard, and I hope others will follow suit too, like BlackRock and State Street, in doing something like that.
Well, you're getting international recognition for this because no one had the cojones to do it before. So hopefully, Missouri, we have leaders like that. We will push the envelope in Missouri between you and Holly and Smith and Schmidt and everybody else who is in Washington and even at the state level. They fight.
I am proud of our federal delegation. They are doing a great job, and they are moving not only the country forward, but Missouri, and taking care of Missouri's interests. So I am very proud of them, grateful for their work, that hard work they are putting. And we are doing whatever small we could do from our treasurer's office to make sure that our money is safe, secure, and invested wisely.
I don't want any of my money to go to China. I don't want to invest in anything Chinese, ever. I don't even buy Chinese products anymore. I'm finding myself looking at packages to see if it says made in China. So I won't buy it anymore. I'm done. I'll pay $2 more before I'll buy Chinese stuff because what they're doing right now is just off the charts. And people using Temu and Shein, you don't understand what you're doing. You are promoting communist China.
No, absolutely, you're right. And if you recall, even from my campaign messages, I had this ad where I said, not a single penny to China, because what they have done to damage our youth with fentanyl and coming across through the border. I mean, China is a sinister rogue agent at this point.
Right. Well, Xi Jinping wants to be considered a god, so that'll tell you all you need to know about him. but they make a ton of money off of their apps as well. I wish they would be outlawed, not just TikTok, but I wish that free trade would not include some of what China gives unless these tariffs go through. Until the tariffs go through, I just wish they weren't offered.
Yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree with you on that. But I'm very glad that we are pushing not only the envelope to make sure that our investors in Missouri and this ETF will not only be just for Missourians, but will be available nationally for all private and public funded entities and also globally. So I think that will make a huge difference as we are pulling out our funds from China. I think that should make an impact.
Yeah. Somebody just said they don't even know what Vanguard is. Well, you know what? I'm not investing in any of it either because I don't have a retirement investment portfolio. But anybody who has like a retirement through work or a retirement at all, a lot of times Vanguard is included in what they use because they're so big.
Yes, Vanguard, just to let you know, Vanguard, I mean, for the listener who asked that question, Vanguard is one of the biggest, the second biggest after BlackRock, the private investment company which floats these ETFs, the exchange trade funds, which are listed on the New York Stock Exchange and other stock exchanges across the world, where people can invest in a portfolio which has various companies from globally or domestically. And right now it manages more than 10.5 trillion of managed assets, U.S. managed assets.
Right. And we don't want our most 529 education savings plan to have anything to do with any of those guys either.
Absolutely not. I mean, Missourians' college savings shouldn't be exposed to China's authoritarian volatility. This new fund lets families invest confidently and safely and securely.
Does this affect a lot of Missourians, do you think?
Well, yeah, it will, because if you are choosing a mode to invest, you have only limited options. And if you are wanting to invest in any of the emerging market funds, the previous options were that if you're investing, that portion of that was also exposed to China. And now you will have an option where you can eliminate that your funds will not be exposed to China.
That's awesome. So what made you jump on this? I mean, I know China's just kind of a bad player, but what made you decide to go for this big and bad like you did?
Well, as I told you, Fawn, I mean, from the very beginning when I took office, I have been noticing, I mean, it's not a new thing. For the last 2 years, I have been against China and investments in China, and that's why I led the effort and won the fight, which was a hard battle to win. The first time I lost it on the board vote with Mosher's, which is the Missouri State Employees Retirement System, to divest Mosher's funds from China. And we finally won. And then I took that same initiative to the legislature to make sure that our pension funds across Missouri are divested from China. And this year we were successful in doing that, and that bill is currently pending in Governor's desk, and we will hopefully get that signed, and then we will make Missourians' money more secure and safe. And in that same regard, I wanted to make sure that none of our futures, which is our graduates of high school or kids who are going to school whose parents have invested money in their 529 college savings account, and that fund right now in Missouri with over 200,000, close to 200,000 subscribers of 529 plan, that fund is about $4.5 billion. And I did not want any of that money to be tanked in case China would decide to attack Taiwan and decide that they would freeze these assets that are invested in China. Yeah. So I did not want any of that money of our future kids, future Americans who will be taking reins of this country eventually, that their money, what their parents have been working hard to secure for them, to make sure that they get the best education to reach their God-given potential, that is not any way in harm's way or in any way which is exposed to the authoritarian regime of China.
Right, because if they get frozen, then whatever you've got invested in them is frozen. So, boom,
absolutely, you lose that.
You lose it. Yeah, that's smart. All right, so if people want to learn more about this, who are going to look at 529 or maybe their investment portfolio as we speak. I know I'd be running to mine if I was hearing this, making sure I wasn't invested in anything Chinese.
Yes. No, this is something that you can also log on to our website at treasure.mo.gov, and you can look up under media that what we have done, and that under the media tab, and that will give you all the information that what we have been doing lately and what these 529 plans are. And we have worked very hard to grow these plans to bring this awareness to folks across Missouri to make sure that our next generation is ready when the challenge comes to them to take the reins of the country.
Yeah, well, China doesn't know what they're doing. They really feel like unless China comes out on top, it's a bad deal. But I don't think they quite understand that they've got a group of Americans right now who doesn't really care what China wants. If it's not fair, it's not going to happen. So it's not going to benefit the Chinese. Yeah.
No, we are not going to bow down to what we have been doing in the last 2-3 decades. No. And I think this is a time to correct the course that we have taken since 1970s.
Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, it's not just Obama, it's not just Biden. This is Bush, this is Clinton, this goes all the way back to Reagan, where we've let China just beat the crap out of us. It goes back to Carter.
Yeah. Even before, it all started back in 1977 when Carter started courting the Chinese president, and we were lured in for cheap labor and cheaper goods, and that's how it started. With a good thought in our mind that we will be able to change the regime and people will eventually understand what democracy means, and there will be a regime change after some time. But what we have seen over time is they just stole our technologies, they stole our intellectual property, and their audits have been opaque, and they have been deceiving at every level, and it has become more and more authoritarian.
Yep, and they send their kids over here to go to school, go home, teach them what we know, and then they get smarter and they keep outsmarting on us one right after the other. But we've got a president now and apparently a treasurer who are not going to put up with China superiority anymore because they're not superior. They're just sneaking and cheating their way to the top, and we're going to have to put a stop to that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I cannot agree more on that. They have been just thieving and stealing all the technology from us, and they're utilizing it for the benefit, just a singular benefit, not in a way that would have helped everybody, right. And have put us in a bad situation where we have become accustomed to those cheaper things without knowing that how many human rights violations they have been doing to produce those things.
Yeah, the human cost of it is not worth it. Missouri Treasurer Vivek Malik.
Correct, you got it.
I got it. Thank you. Vanguard Files. Check him out at his Missouri Treasurer page if you want to know more about this. I appreciate you taking time, Vivek, to be on the show.
Thank you very much, Juan. And one last thing I would still like to say, as I've been gung-ho about making sure Missourians get their money back, so go and check your money at showmemoney.com, and I would be happy to send a check your way if you find some money that belongs to you.
You never have any for me, so I'm mad at you.
You are a good steward of your finances, Juan. I'm proud of you that you don't have any money sitting there.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.